most of the controversial issues that transpired in the course of the week. Obviously, you know how we did right here in the studio, and of course, you already know the quite enthusiastic analyst that always sticks this program, puts it just exactly how it is. However, before I continue, I want this analyst to actually build a pact on air officially. Before I do that, let me introduce him to you. And his name is Mr. Peter Anosike. Peter Anosike is a political, national and social affairs commentator. Peter Anosike is a journalist, oh yes, of several years. A print journalist for that matter, and quite insightful when it comes to political issues. So Mr. Anosike understands the ethics, the protocol involved when it comes to ethically broadcasting on national radio. Mr. Peter Anosike, good evening and thank you for joining us on the recap today.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm okay.
It's one of those Saturdays. Are you enthusiastic to put it out there? Give them woto back to back.
Well, it's a beautiful Saturday.
It's a beautiful Saturday. You don't want woto.
It's a beautiful Saturday.
All right, okay. Anyways, like I already told you, Mr. Anosike, let's build a pact. You already understand how it goes, right? You understand the rudimentary, what is required of us. And at this time of the day, the ethical language, regardless of how emotional we become. We're educating people, we're providing them insight, we're also broadening the conspiracy theory. So let's agree right here in the studio that we wouldn't do anything out of the confined, stipulated rules and regulations that is actually regulating this broadcast media. Yeah?
NBC has its rules.
Okay.
We all understand.
Okay, I just want us to want us to build our pact officially.
But I have heard you many times call people who have not been convicted bandits, terrorists.
No, they're terrorists. They're terrorists. There's people who murder, people who kill, they're terrorists. Mr. Peter Anosike.
Why you call them terrorists is because their acts are like concur with the definition of terrorism.
Exactly.
So if somebody is behaving stupidly or saying stupid things, it wouldn't be wrong to call
I'm just saying
stupid.
that there are other logical, ethical terms you could use to categorize or describe such individuals without being, you know what I mean?
No.
You precisely understand what I mean.
Sure.
All right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the recap right here. It takes place every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. And of course, what we do, like I already told you, is that we take a look across political issues that generated quite the controversy in the course of the week. It's almost like a rundown of issues that transpired in the course of the week. And obviously, you do know that Mr. Peter Anosike will provide you insight right in there, where, of course, generates your reaction. You also give your recommendations and your contributions to the program. Before I proceed, my name is Esther Nwachuku, and we obviously stream this program virtually. So we stream it on YouTube. You can virtually be part of the conversation. So if you are not logged on YouTube at the moment, I implore you to log on. Let you see what exactly is going on in the studio. And of course, you get to see Mr. Peter Anosike as well. You can virtually be part of the conversation too. So kindly subscribe. It is VOP 90.3 FM on YouTube. Now you can also follow us across other social media platforms, which is Instagram, Facebook, as well as on X. It is VOP 90.3 FM. And obviously, Mr. Peter Anosike is on Twitter as well, rather on YouTube. What's your YouTube handle, Mr. Peter Anosike?
Well, it's Peter Anosike 77.
All right, so Peter Anosike 77 on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, across all social media platforms. And of course, you can actually follow me as well on YouTube at Estiq Media. That's ESTIQMEDIA. Quite a lot of political content and other lifestyle programs that you actually want to edify yourself intellectually in there. Now, let's move on exactly to what we need to discuss today. And like I already told you earlier, that quite a lot transpired in the course of the week, which of course is what we'll be talking about on the program. And one of them is concerning the North compiling issues to push Tinubu away in 2027. And that remark was made by Shehu Sani. Shehu Sani was an ex-senator, all right? And of course, concerning the recent Salah homage that was paid to former President Muhammadu Buhari by the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who was also the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in 2023, as well as El Rufai, the former Kaduna State Governor, and also former FCT Minister minister, well, it generated quite the buzz, and which actually set tongues wagging exactly what's going on. Wow, this political elite all of a sudden decided to actually visit former President Muhammadu Buhari. You do know that Sheikh Hussaini was a strong critic of the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, and it's quite surprising to actually hear when he actually said that these individuals going to visit former President Muhammadu Buhari, what exactly is their modus operandi? What do they have up their sleeves? Okay, so exactly, Sheikh Hussaini had to speak, and you know how vituperated and enthusiastically involved when it comes to these political issues, and of course they're all allies. So Sheikh Hussaini disclosed how Atiku, the PDP candidate in 2019, that's the presidential flag bearer for the PDP in 2019 as well as in 2023 respectively, and his cohorts, according to Sheikh Hussaini, plan to oust President Ahmed Bola Tinubu from the Aso Rock Villa in 2027. A couple of, will I say, netizens and political analysts, including Nigerian political theorists, well, how ridiculous is that train of thought? Why would you come with such a perspective? Why would you angle your perception to that particular aspect? Well, Mr. Peter Anosike being likely not in that. Well, during an exclusive interview with the Sun newspaper in Abuja, Sheikh Hussaini said that Atiku and his co-travelers are planning to capitalize on the relocation of the Central Bank of Nigeria offices to Lagos, the appointment of many people from the southwestern part of the country, and the issue of insecurity, which has not been solved in the northern part of Nigeria, to unseat Tinubu in 2027. According to Sani, who represented Kaduna Central Senatorial District in the 8th Senate, these are all fundamental issues which they are going to take very seriously. Sani also disclosed that Atiku and his gang of politicians are trying to present Tinubu as a bad case, an ethnicist, a regionalist, a person who betrayed northern Nigeria, as a man who was voted by the north but serving his people, and the need for northerners to wake up and evict him out of power. Mr. Peter Anosike, let me ask you something. This Mr. Sheikh Hussaini has always been a critic of the administration, let's just say the previous two administrations of Muhammadu Buhari, when he served 2 terms, 2015 as well as in 2019. These 8 years, Sheikh Hussaini really criticized that administration. He was one of the first senators who disclosed how much they earn. It's quite surprising to hear him toying towards a positive angle with this administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Would you say his conspiracy theory is right? Would you say somehow he's speaking from both sides of his mouth? Or would you actually say that somehow maybe he is playing the tune dictated by the piper?
Well, he's acting true to type like a typical politician.
Okay.
Which is only interest that matters.
Where did that interest all of a sudden wake up from?
One, under the administration of Muhammadu Buhari,
okay,
El-Rufai, his rival and enemy, was strong in the government.
Okay.
So there was no way for him to get into the government. So he was an outsider. So all he was doing was throwing stones. But the Tinubu administration has edged out El-Rufai. So he's now walking in. So that's the game.
Why do you think El-Rufai has been set aside or put aside? You recall during the Naira redesign period when former President Muhammadu Buhari reiterated that it was necessary for that Naira redesign. A budget was stipulated for the mint, the print of that particular mint, and he also stated that the reason for the Naira redesign at the time, they said it was because the old notes were so much in circulation and they wanted to curb, according to them, vote buying. It was too immediate. We saw exactly what that was. But El-Rufai was one of a strong critic of someone you would consider his ally, and that's former President Muhammadu Buhari. He supported President Tinubu. He called out the CBN governor at the time. He also mentioned that there were some cabals who intend to ensure that Tinubu does not come in power. So don't you find it a little bit, I don't want to use the word ironical, that he decided to go back to somebody whom he had criticized at the time? He had said he was being used to ensure that Tinubu does not succeed. So exactly what transpired between that time with that staunch support? What transpired between that time and now?
Well, El-Rufai was a victim of interest.
Okay.
Some people who want to take over from Tinubu in 2027 or 2031 want to make El-Rufai redundant. They know that if he's in the government, he will be powerful. Already he is very popular in the north.
Okay.
So they just want to make him redundant or irrelevant. Mind you, when Tinubu went to UK during the election, El-Rufai was among those that answered questions. And Tinubu said, this is how we are going to rule. So El-Rufai was one of the key people before the election. But after that, from May 29, 2023,
yes,
some people who want to run for the presidency after Tinubu say that if El-Rufai becomes what he wants, he will still be powerful then. So they just decided to put him aside.
Is that why when he was nominated by the president at the time, the Senate refused to give him a clear pass?
Because one of those people who is angling for the vice presidency is from the south.
Wow, interesting. That's a very interesting one, because I wondered what happened. This strong supporter of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it was obvious that he would have a way within the inner cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did try actually to have him be part of the cabinet. It was quite surprising to see a collective no or a collective nay at the Senate. And not just that, a lot of Nigerians were not happy that El-Rufai would be considered to be part of the inner caucus of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They tied ethnic bigotry, nepotism, and a couple of killings in Kaduna at the time, specifically killings attributed to the Christians, that is in southern Kaduna, to he was complacent, he was lackadaisical in reacting to the several killings that took place within the area of that particular Kaduna axis, where there was predominantly Christians residing there. So do you think these were part of the issues that culminated to that?
It wasn't part of it. Why El-Rufai was screamed out was 2031, because what the insecurity in Kaduna was the same thing that was happening in Zamfara.
Okay.
And today, the Minister of State for Defense is from Zamfara.
That's Bello Matawali, right?
Sure. Understand? So it hasn't nothing to do with performance. It's just interest of some people. That's why they want to manufacture that security report that led to his disqualification.
Okay, so you know that in the latest executive committee meeting of the APC in Kaduna State, where a vote of confidence was passed on the current governor, Uba Sani, just today, the executive committee, you know, is the highest decision-making body of the APC in Kaduna, and they convened to discuss various state matters and commend Governor Sani for his initiatives. However, El-Rufai was absent. Is it surprising that he is absent?
Well, what is happening in Kaduna is something that's happening in Rivers State. So they have fallen apart. And mind you, El-Rufai used the Obasani to edge out Sheikh Hussaini from the Senate in 2019.
2019.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was Obasani that took over from Sheikh Hussaini. That's in Kaduna Central.
All right.
So El-Rufai has fought a lot of war for Obasani.
So what is causing the deteriorating relationship between both of them?
Interest.
Interest in what regard?
2027, 2031.
Wow. So we're already seeing a chessboard at play here ahead of 2027 about within these politicians, despite the stifling economic conditions the Nigerians are facing at this time.
Politicians, all they think about is the next election and never about other people.
Okay, so earlier in March, right, Uba Sani had publicly criticized the financial burdens in his administration, which he inherited from El-Rufai. One would have thought that regardless of the flawed or strained relationship between Ubasani and El-Rufai, it wouldn't come to this point where he would publicly declare that the reason why financially his state is in debt is because of his predecessor El-Rufai. And we've seen that court cases have come up, accusations have come up about financial embezzlement, persons that were also involved in the financial embezzlement with El-Rufai at the time. Do you think the reason why Sheikh Husani is a strong critic of El-Rufai is because of the role he played?
That's the thing. That is it. And the main reason why Obasani made the revelations was because he discovered that El-Rufai has fallen out of the presidency.
Okay.
If El-Rufai that was given a ministerial position or the secretary to the government of the federation, that revelation would not have come out.
Okay.
So he just used it to share, Mr. President, I'm for you. I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm on your side.
All right.
And it became worse when El-Rufai began to go to meet these people in SDP.
Well, in all of this, we've not heard the voice of El-Rufai. Rather, the person's voice we've been hearing has been that of his son. His son went on the Mycon podcast with one of these strong presenters on one of the prominent television stations, and he was able to speak categorically on the effort his father made in ensuring a smooth progress in Kaduna. He also talked about the fact that his father was a strong supporter of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he said it was mischief makers, naysayers, who literally were not happy with the support his father gave to Tinubu that are involved right now to politically destroy his career. Do you think that's true?
Well, for not speaking out, El-Rufai, I can say, is a wise man. Okay. Because they say that smart people knows how to talk, but wise people know how to keep quiet. So nobody knows what is going on in his mind, but I know that he's a schemer. El-Rufai is a schemer, and El-Rufai is a very, very ambitious person.
So you're saying that behind the scenes, even if El-Rufai is not talking now,
he's not sleeping.
He's skimming ahead of 2027.
He's a very ambitious
What position do you think El-Rufai would want in 2027? Another minister, senator, or a vice president?
Well, it depends. But what he was working originally was to take over from Tinubu anytime that Tinubu wants to go.
Take over from Tinubu?
Yes.
As a president?
As a president.
So in what way was he going to be part of the inner caucus to urge along, to have that strong edge, to be considered as a replacement if Tinubu is done with his tenure?
He was working towards becoming the SGF.
Wow.
He was working towards being and mind you, when you come in a presidential system, the powerful people are not even the vice president. Is the chief of staff and secretary
to the government of the
federation. El-Rufai was looking for that two positions.
Are they that close that he would have actually considered that the president would have given him the position as SGF?
He took him to Chatham House in UK. El-Rufai went to court during this Naira
redesign. Yes.
On behalf of Tinubu. El-Rufai was one of those that was insisting that power should go to the south. And he was and his mind was that it should go to Tinubu.
Interesting.
Understand?
So now that the situation...
So he wants to do for Tinubu what Tinubu did for Buhari.
Interesting.
That's the game.
But do you think somehow, in the midst of all this, Tinubu was able to read in between the lines and somehow, put him aside, used him for what he wanted to use him for, and then put him aside? Or was it people who surrounded the president who said, no, you can't have this man close within your ranks?
It was because already Tinubu has nominated him for ministerial position.
Yes, he did.
But he was skimmed out by the Senate. And it was people from the north who are interested in what he is also interested in,
that participated in ensuring that he did not get any.
Sure, because there are two powerful people from the northeast who are eyeing the presidency, who are also holding powerful positions in Tinubu's government.
Who are those two persons? Who are those two?
I've narrowed it for you. Use your mind. I say northeast.
Northeast. Mr. Peter Nosiki, tell us now. I like your train of thought. I like your depth. Tell us, who are those persons?
I've narrowed it for you. There are 2 people from the northeast who are holding very, very important position in this government. They're interested in taking over from Tinubu.
Is it the chief? No. Definitely. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave you guys to think about that. Mr. Peter Anosuke doesn't want to say, but he has narrowed it down. Strong northerners from the northeast, right? So when you call in, possibly you can give us your own hypothetical theory or name those persons that you think are within the cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom, according to Mr. Anosuke, are also vying for the same interest that El Rufai has. All right, let's move on to another interesting topic that also took sway in the course of the week. It's concerning the Southeast governors, right? And they announced their intention to secure the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. I'm sure on this platform, you've heard us quite a lot give you update on the situation with Nnamdi Kanu, the response of his lawyers and his supporters, and that, of course, of governors, senators, House of Rep members. We'll continue to give you update because his case is still in the news up until September, when, of course, his case will be officially revisited. In the meantime, we'll be hearing updates and we'll continue to give you that update right here. So, in a communique that was issued after a closed-door meeting at the government house in Enugu on Tuesday, remember I told you recap is a recap of controversial issues that took place in the course of the week, right? The governors resolved to meet with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and you know that Nnamdi Kanu faces criticisms of terrorism-related charges at the Federal High Court in Abuja. He has been in detention since his rearrest in June 2021 and subsequent repatriation, or rather, according to a couple of people, kidnapped from Kenya. The forum not only aims to secure Kanu's release, but also address the pressing issue of insecurity in the Southeast region. Now, I'm going to play you a soundbite of that particular visit when they went to the Southeastern governors met. And of course, Hope Uzodinma was the one who spoke on behalf of the Southeastern governors, which again will come into play when after this particular insert. I'm going to ask Mr. Anosuke some questions concerning Hope Uzodinma, if indeed genuinely he is fighting for ensuring that Nnamdi Kanu is released. So let's take a listen to Hope Uzodinma.
2024 by the Southeast Governors Forum. The forum commiserated with the government and people of Abia State, Ebonyi, Imo State, indeed the entire Southeast region and Nigeria, and the family of Obonayono's family. The people of Obonayono's family on the demise of His Excellency Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. The forum received a delegation of the former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, GCFR, Chief Emeka Anyoko, GCON, and His Royal Majesty Igwe Emeka Asogbe, CFR, the Obi of Onitsha, who came on a solidarity visit to this forum. The forum deliberated on the review the report of the Southeast Security and Economic Summit held in Owerri on the 28th September 2023 and agreed to implement the aspects of the report pertaining to security and economic integration of the region and affirmed its desire to put actionable plans on the key issues agreed. The forum resolved to visit Mr. President to discuss the pressing issues, all pressing issues concerning the Southeast region. The forum also deliberated and resolved to interface with the federal government to secure the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and the meeting adjourned whenever. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Peter Anosuke, I'm sure you heard Hope Uzodinma. Well, the question I want to ask is that ever since this whole Nnamdi Kanu debacle came on board, you know that Aloy Ejimakor has said that there are criminals who are planning to impede the political resolution that is being sought after for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Also, I don't know if you recall, some of the House of Rep members has actually stated that, I think Ugo Chinyere, he was also one of the person that said that there are some persons too who are trying to impede the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And then a couple of netizens believe that Hope Uzodinma is one of the southeastern governors who actually want to deter the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Although IPOP spokesperson Emma Powerful has also made mention of that. Emma Powerful said that he knows some of these ex or southeastern governors and some top persons within the southeast who are actually benefiting from the continued incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu, and they don't want him to be released. But here is Hope Uzodinma speaking on behalf of the southeastern governors, clarifying that indeed they intend to meet the AGF to plead on behalf of Nnamdi Kanu to seek his release. What do you say to that? This is Hope Uzodinma speaking here. Do you think he's just observing protocol?
Well, the other one should be seen as a rumor.
Okay.
Because Hope Uzodinma was not dragged to the meeting.
Okay.
He was not dragged to the meeting. And again, he was active. He was the spokesperson. He read all the statements.
All right.
So assuming that he was there and he didn't say anything, then we can say nobody knows what is in his mind, or maybe he just attended the meeting.
All right.
So because what we were hearing before was that he went and discussed with the president that if Nnamdi Kanu is released, it's going to affect his re-election. That he should be kept there until the Imo State governorship election is over.
Okay.
That was what we were hearing then unofficially. And a lot of people have said that Southeast politicians are behind the reason why Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention. So, but I'm happy with the current developments.
Okay.
You know, this thing started with the G60. The G60 National Assembly men that went and appealed for the release of Nnamdi
Kanu.
Then it was then followed up by the guy in Kwacha that was representing Ikwano Umuahia that went to Buhari and to see him. Then the 15 Southeast governors also went and saw the Mr. Fabwemi.
Okay.
Before this, so
do we see something positive coming out of this? With all of this clamors, even some House of Rep members are from other regions representing the Northeast and North Central. You recall they actually wrote and they're demanding for the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu. Do you see anything plausible coming out of this?
I see positivity.
Okay.
And I'm happy with what because when the Southeast governors came, they also discussed about insecurity and development. Bruce Lee said that there's no help other than self-help.
Okay.
You must help yourself. You don't wait for other people to come and be helping you.
All right.
Igbo people are developing other parts of the world. Come to Lagos here. Most of the fine buildings are owned by Igbos. Go to Abuja. In fact, El-Rufai said that Igbos shouldn't be asking for another state, that Abuja is the sixth state of the Southeast because they are dominating everywhere. So what they are doing in the other parts of the country, they have not done it in the East. And Igbo man will build a mansion in Lagos, go and build a post quarters in his own village.
Well, why do you think that's the case, actually? Why?
It's shameful.
No, but why do you think that's the case? Let's be crude here. Why do you think that's the case? A lot of their businesses and investment are done in cities outside their home state. Right now, the excuse is because of insecurity, jealousy, betrayal amongst their brothers. That's what they always use as an excuse. Yes, that's what I'm even saying, that even before the insecurity in the southeast, it's always been like that. They establish businesses outside the southeast. They always say, oh, if you build and try to do anything within your hometown, you have people jealous of you. They'll do all the stuff to bring you down. There's betrayal. And even other ethnic groups usually say that the Igbos will never become, there will be no Igbo person that will become a president, because within themselves they do not have unity. They always say they don't know how to forge ahead. They don't know how to come together and put aside their differences. So why do you think that's the case? Because it always gives some semblance of a validity to those claims.
No, I don't. There's no people that is more united than the Igbos.
Well, if you look at conversation on X, I'm not saying what I'm saying stemming from just my perspective. This is not me. These are questions that a lot of people ask, a lot of people talk about. These are their reservations about Igbos. If you go on X, right now, there's a serious ethnic rivalry on X. I'm telling you, Mr. Peter Anosike, it's worrisome to see how some political individuals have used our ethnic differences against us. And the reason, I'm going to come to that in the course of this conversation, because it has to do with the Kenyan protest. But let me come back to the topic here. Whenever they're throwing bans against themselves, they always make reference to the fact that how can Igbos become leaders if within themselves they're not cooperative, if they do not support themselves, if they want to see their fellow brothers fail, they're not happy about seeing their fellow brothers fail, they want to covet, they're covetous. These are the conversations they have. So you may not agree with it, but this is basically one of the conversations that goes around there.
2023 presidential election faulted that argument.
Oh, really?
2020. Because right from time, Igbos have been voting one way, and that shows what? Unity.
Okay.
Igbos have been voting one way. That shows unity.
Okay.
Understand?
All right.
Then for the business thing, those who build bus quarters in their towns and mansions in Lagos, Abuja, Kanu,
okay,
they stay most of the time that's in the cities.
All right.
And just go home maybe during a Christmas, stay for a week or two and come back.
Okay.
And again, Lagos State has an international seaport and international airport.
Yes.
It will not be easy for you or your business being in Enugu and your goods snacks at Tinkan.
Okay.
From here, you take you begin to transport it down to the east. So economically, they skewed it against us. Because that's why the Onitsha port is not functioning. Understand me? This is economic war against the southeast.
So you're saying from the onset, they have done what you call a geographical mapping that economically puts us at a disadvantage.
So for you to do well in business, you have to do it here in Lagos State.
Wow. That is a wow.
It takes more than 1 million naira carrying a container from Lagos to Onitsha. It takes more than 1 million naira to carry a container. And with the bad roads, the container may fall on the road.
What role do you think the southeastern governors have played in the continuous deterioration of the southeastern infrastructure, considerably, like you talked about the road? Do you think they played a major role in ensuring that the southeast doesn't become one of the well-contested, modernized, urbanized region in the country?
Well, the truth is that we've not really had good governors. We've not really had good governors. I can say that it is from 2023 that we started having people who I can define as governors.
Please define them.
That's in the person of Alex Oti.
Okay.
And Peter Mba
of Enugu State.
Enugu State.
What about Francis Imwufuru? Hope Uzodimma? What about these persons? What are they doing?
And that's speaking of those I know. These people are not real politicians.
Oh, who are not real politicians, please?
This Peter Mba.
Okay. And Alex Oti. Okay, they're not real politicians.
Alex Oti has made his mark in the banking industry.
Okay.
That is what I mean.
All right.
And not people who start politics by carrying bag Understand me? Like Hope Uzodinma. Understand me?
Okay.
Who you cannot give account of the business that they have run.
So you're saying that these individuals, if they've been in politics from time immemorial, there's a considerable prediction that they would not serve well? Is that what you're saying? Because according to you now, you're saying these persons are not politicians and that's why they're doing well. But the rest have been politicians right from time, and then they're not being effective within the states that they represent.
Bill Gates said that we can judge somebody's achievement in public office based on what he did in his private capacity. So that success you recorded in your private capacity is to transfer it into public office. So an ex-Soti has something to transfer.
Okay.
Peter Mba has something to transfer, but Uzodinma has nothing to transfer.
Interesting. So I wonder how the off-cycle elections went, whereby Hope Uzodinma won most of the polling units.
There wasn't any voting in Imo State.
Oh, really? So the results that INEC called. Wait, so the results that INEC called, what they came from?
APC cannot win election in Imo without rigging.
So you're saying that they
even knows that.
So you're literally saying that the elections in Imo State were totally and completely rigged.
It was rigged.
The people in Imo were not given an opportunity to cast their votes independently.
Uzodinma can never win free and fair election.
Oh, wow. Okay, we'll come to that. We'll come to that later in the course of the program. Let's look at this General Innocent Orji. He's a commander of the Biafra National Guard. He has vowed never to lay down his arms, even if Nigerian authorities should invite him for negotiation. Of course, he's a separatist leader, and he made this statement when he spoke exclusively with Newsband newspaper on Tuesday night. Now, although this is coming after inside sources told this Newsband paper that efforts are being made to bring all the pro-Biafra groups together to a roundtable talk with the Nigerian government. Now, when asked by this particular online newspaper, Newsband, if Biafra National Guard will accept to participate in a roundtable discussion with the authorities for a lasting peace in the southeast region, General Innocent Orji said no. According to him, he will never accept any form of negotiation that its result will warrant him to surrender his arms for monetary gains. He said, and I'm going to quote him, "If being invited by the Southeast leaders for a roundtable discussion, I will not accept." Also, when asked if he can surrender his arms for compensation, Orji said, absolutely no, I won't. Now, from the description that he had here, literally, he is saying that whatever negotiation is ongoing for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, if the pro-Biafra agitators are called to a roundtable whereby they can sheath the swords and embrace peace, he would not. For him, he doesn't trust that negotiation process. Do you think that General Orji, as well as other pro-Biafra agitators, feel the same way?
First of all, I hope the arms he is carrying, that's a license to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically, I don't know that person you are talking about.
He is one of the Biafra National Guard generals, and according to him, they're the ones protecting the forest in the southeast, and they're the strong pro-Biafra agitators.
Then why are Fulani herdsmen still in the forest in the southeast? So for me, I don't know him, and I cannot speak about it. If there's a negotiation, if they call for negotiation, one, Tom Polo, Ateke Tom, Asari Mdokobo, all of them were called for negotiation. Understand me? Yes, and something was put on the table for them.
Okay.
Understand me? Like giving scholarship and so on and so forth. Why are you fighting war if you have a way of making the peace that will? But you know that
there are issues with Tom Polo as well as Asari Dokubo. They feel that they enrich themselves with the monies with the peace negotiation deal. For example, Asari Dokubo owns a university. Tom Polo has a security outfit. He's been giving contracts and a lot of other things.
We are doing
they say they personally,
even or before that's all these things.
Well, even when all the peace negotiation effort came on board, they used it to personally enrich themselves, and you know there was a controversy surrounding that. But the reason why I'm asking this question is that there's a particular prophet who says that Tinubu should not allow for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, that according to him, he's going to destabilize his administration. But here is the thing. When the political resolution talk came on, and I remember asking one of the analysts, as Barrister Eze Eluche, And Barrister Ezeluchi said something that the pro-Biafran fight or the freedom of the Southeasterners goes beyond Nnamdi Kanu. At this stage, it has transcended him as an individual. According to Barrister Ezeluchi, if at all Nnamdi Kanu accepts any political resolution whatsoever, he's the one who has been incarcerated. He's the one that has been going through the tedious experience within the confines of the DSS. So if at all he agrees to any political resolution, that another person will take place until the Southeasterners feel well represented, until they stop feeling marginalized or isolated, that the call for the freedom of the Southeasterners or IPOB or Biafra would continue. They transcend beyond Nnamdi Kanu. Do you think that's true?
Well, in South Africa, Nelson Mandela was the arrowhead, was the image maker, was the visionary. So there must be, for now, Nnamdi Kanu is the arrowhead.
Okay.
And if he accepts peace conditions, understand, whoever continues with agitation have to state what he is agitating for.
Okay.
Because,
okay.
Understand me?
All right.
Whoever is still calling for war have to state what, because some people may just want to make unnecessary names, become popular, so on and so forth. So for the prophet, there's no prophet in Nigeria. There's no prophet in Nigeria. What they are doing is predicting. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, yes, there's no.
So we should call this so-called prophet Ikuru false prophet or prophet of Baal.
God doesn't speak to anybody.
Mr. Nosike, don't generalize. That's your own belief.
There's no prophet in Nigeria.
Hey.
So
okay,
he just want to become popular using Nnamdi Kanu's name.
All right. Okay. Well, it's quite an interesting angle to consider. But like I said, there's been quite a lot of talk concerning Nnamdi Kanu's case. For example, Isaac Fayoshé, the brother of former Ekiti State Governor, has proposed a solution to the ongoing insecurity in Nigeria's southeast region. The question is, even if Nnamdi Kanu is released, do you think the insecurity in the southeast region would reduce? Because that's a perception.
It's a very good question. And the people are thinking, assuming that Nnamdi Kanu comes out today and insecurity just dies down.
Okay.
Nnamdi Kanu is a suspect.
You said what?
He's a suspect.
Okay.
It simply means that he is behind it.
Oh, okay.
Understand me?
Sure.
It simply means because there are armed robbers in the east.
Very well.
There are kidnappers in the east. So what I feel will happen, there will be a reduction. Those that are using IPOB, ESN
to commit crime, who understand me, that one is going to stop. Because whoever does anything in the name of IPOB will now know that he is a criminal, because Nnamdi Kanu has said no violence. Understand? So Nnamdi Kanu coming out is not going to turn southeast to Iceland, because in Iceland now prisons are shutting down because nobody is going there. Nobody is committing crime. So they are shutting down their prisons. All right. So in other words, like you just rightly described, if Nnamdi Kanu comes out and all of a sudden there is a clampdown on the spate of insecurity in the southeast, it means that indeed while he was in DSS custody, he was one coordinating the nefarious activities in the southeast. In other words, if he comes out, it doesn't necessitate the fact that insecurity in the southeast will be completely curbed out.
If Nnamdi Kanu signs an agreement, if I come out, there will be peace in the south. He is shooting himself
in the leg.
Understand me?
Oh, wow.
So he shouldn't sign to that agreement.
All right.
He said that my members, the IPOB, the ESN, I will tell them to be peace abiding. There were armed robbers in the east. There were bandits in the east. There were kidnappers before Nnamdi Kanu even was born.
But it wasn't that prominent as it is now.
Yes. People are now hiding under this. He said incarceration and so on and so forth. So he must not sign any agreement that he cannot keep.
Interesting.
Understand me?
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Mr. Peter Anosike. What if one of the agreements, because they said conditional conditions, there'll be conditions that will be given for his release, a negotiated conditions that'll be set down, he would have to agree, which he will agree to, and the federal government as well will agree to. But what if one of those conditions is that, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, when you come out, we don't want you to make insightful statements. We don't want you to incentivize your supporters. We don't want to hear you agitating for any pro-Biafra relief or anything. We don't want you to hear, say, Igbos are going their way. We don't want any of that. Do you think Nnamdi Kanu will actually sign up to that?
Well, that's why I wasn't comfortable with any near Abaribe statement that he has promised to abide by any condition.
Although Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer has come out to refute that claim by A.N.I. Abaribe.
You don't accept that. You cannot accept any condition. Understand? Because they can tell you, come out, go on exile. Come out, don't speak anymore. So he shouldn't agree with any condition.
But don't you see that as one of the conditions that be stipulated? Whether we like it or not, it's not going to be surprising for that condition to be laid down by the federal government.
I suspect that they will tell him that he must be peace abiding.
Yes.
Understand? He shouldn't be calling for cessation.
Yes.
Understand me? And so on and so forth.
All right. Let's look at Laolu Akonde. He's also another individual as well that set tongues wagging with a particular statement he made recently. I think I played that in the news yesterday evening. According to Laolu Akonde, he's saying that he thought Nnamdi Kanu was bold enough. That why is he actually seeking a political solution? If he feels he's within his rights and his agitation, according to him, is of a strong notion, so from a strong point, then why is he accepting any condition for release? I want you to listen to him so it doesn't seem as if we're saying anything out from thin air. Let's take a listen to Laolu Akonde.
I will rather stand, this is my own personal view, that I think that Mr. Nnamdi Kanu should be bold enough to check out these things in court, but apparently he's not, and with the senators now meeting the Attorney General, well, I think we should see the way it goes. But you would have expected somebody with a kind of courage and the boldness of Nnamdi Kanu. You would have expected him to say that, look, let's prove these things in court. Let's go and whether indeed they have broken the law. But I'm surprised that he's trying to get a political solution. I would have expected him, based on what we know about him, to say that, look, let's go to court. But he wants a political solution, and I'm told that he has even committed to any kind of conditions. I'm surprised by that.
What do you say to Laolu Akonde?
Well, because it is not him, because it is, I know their psychology.
What's the psychology?
I know their psychology.
Okay.
They can talk, they cannot act.
Wow.
So he's talking tough now because he's speaking from his house.
He's not speaking from his house. It was via a conversation that he had in one of the monitor television stations when he was asked about it.
He is free now. He is free because EFCC should also look into his records.
Okay.
Mind you, he worked with the vice president.
Yes.
That's understand?
Yes.
So he
worked with the former vice president.
Yes.
Oh, right.
He was his media aide.
Okay, interesting. Well, we do know that Laolu Akonde actually has a program as well. I think it's one of those projects where since they have that connection, they get to bring in top politicians where they examine issues. And of course, he was a former aide to the former vice president to former President Muhammadu Buhari. That's an interesting one to actually consider.
Okay, so the issue is Nelson Mandela was a political solution.
That was what facilitated his release.
Yes, court never discharged him. It was political solution. Understand? The peace in the Niger Delta during the militant era was political solution. Understand? Then the Biafra war ended with a political solution. Ojukwu was asked, leave the country and there will be peace.
He actually did. He went on exile.
Yes, now, he went to that's Africa, understand me? There was, so, having police and certainly things out of court doesn't mean cowardice. People are dying in the East. Business are shutting down in the East.
Every Monday, especially.
Every Monday, and understand me? So Nnamdi Kanu shouldn't be happy that his region has become
a death trap.
A death trap. Nothing is working there. So accepting political solution, there's nothing wrong, but you shouldn't sign what will harm you.
Okay, that will be an interesting one to consider. I want to know what these conditions would be, and because he also has a lot of critics, especially those who are not within his ethnic group, who actually want to, chastise him or mock him and say, "Oh, I thought you were remaining resolute. You're a hero. You're a god. You could not have agreed to anything and continue to fight for the right of your people if you say your interest is genuine." All right, let's move ahead from Nnamdi Kanu's case and let's talk about food security. Nigerian workers spend 65% of salary on foods. Oh, this particular matter. A long way. Okay, the United Nations has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's federal government to make dedicated budgetary allocation to curb food insecurity. The United Nations has called on the president to do that as soon as possible. That statement was made by the UN Director of World Food Programme and Africa Union Global Office, Dr. Hamid Nuru. He made the call in Ilorin, Kwara State capital on Wednesday this week. He also spoke as a guest speaker at the maiden annual lecture of the University of Ilorin's Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, which was themed Navigating Nexus of Food Security, Safety and Diseases, a Holistic, Sustainable Future and Economic Prosperity. The program was also in honor of a former Deputy Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University and first professor from Ilorin Emirate, Professor Kanu. So according to him, statistics at the UN shows Nigerians spend over 65% of their salaries on food consumption as against 5 to 6% acceptable rates. And according to him, it is unacceptable. Okay, let me go back in time. Nigerians numbering about 31.5 million are projected to face acute hunger by June to August 2024. We're already in we're in July. The acute hunger don't start no be small. I have where I'm driving at. Now, 83,846 are internally displaced persons. Remember, these internally displaced persons do not have any job. They're not contributing economically.
They are just like prisoners.
Exactly.
Eating food.
Now, guess what? The situation, according to the latest CADA harmonized analysis, would be particularly dire in the northeastern states of Borno, with 2.1 million people, Yobe State with 1.5 million, and Adamawa State with 1.1 million people who will be in the phase 3 of the food and nutrition insecurity during this period. Now, when this latest data was released, it represents a significant increase of about 4.6 million people from the 26.5 million earlier projected in November 2023. Mr. Peter Anosike, I don't know if you understand what is going on. Food is actually available, but it has become so inaccessible. If you look at salaries, there's no potential for increment. It's only for those who work in the tech sector, and you need to be very more literate to be in that sector. For an average literate, or even someone who is even very literate, it's quite difficult to get a substantial salary of 200,000 naira. Now, Mr. Peter Anosike, let me paint a realistic picture for you. An average Nigerian worker working in a private sector, I'm not even talking of government workers, earns about 200,000 naira, about some earn less. In that 200,000 naira, this average Nigerian worker is married. There is clothing, food, he has children, school fees, feeding, accommodation, right? You also have transportation in that 200,000 naira. Mr. Peter Anosike, within the current economic dispensation and the reality on ground, how is 200,000 naira a means through which any family can survive? The average family household comprises of 4 persons, 2 children, a mother and a father, and the father is earning 200,000. And let's just say the mother is a retailer selling small goods or whatever by the roadside. How should that average Nigerian survive?
Well, for me, I have always said that UN, United Nations, World Bank, IMF are enemies of the third world countries. That report is an IMF or World Bank report. Average Nigerian worker spend over 100% of his salary on food.
The report you're referring to is concerning putting a stage of emergency on food security, right? Because this particular report by the CADA Harmonize is agriculture and food security in collaboration with Food and Agriculture Organization of United and including Nigerian partners. They were the ones who compiled the statistics report.
Okay. So if Nigerian worker can spend only 65% of his salary on food, it means that he's living well.
Okay.
Understand me?
Help me break it down, Mr. Anosike.
If Nigerian worker spends 65% of his salaries on food,
okay,
living 35%,
okay,
it means that he is living very well.
All right.
But Nigerian workers spend over 100%, and it's not even enough. It is not even enough. The whole salary, if they want to eat 3 square meals,
okay,
what they are paying cannot even take anybody for 15 days of the month. Understand me?
Okay.
Now, look, for those in public service, the minimum wage for those that are paying is 30,000 naira.
Okay.
Ebony is paying 15,000 a month.
All right.
So for those who are receive under government, 30,000 naira is the minimum wage. Bag of rice is set at 75,000 naira, which means you have to work more than 2 months to buy a bag of rice. Then how are you spending 65% of your salary on food? Which means your 2 months salary cannot even buy a bag of rice. If you know, most families are no longer eating beans because beans has gone above the roof. An egg is selling for 200.
Yes, it is.
Gary, they say that Gary, either a plate is at 4,000 or 4,500, depending on where you are buying from. Understand?
Yeah.
Even the bread that we used to buy 200 naira on 10 years ago under the PDP government is now selling for 1,300.
So let's go back.
So that statistics is what they give to government, and they will be presenting it that to us that Nigerians are enjoying.
Mr. Peter Anosike, there is a major, I want to use this phrase, there is a terrible death when it comes to food insecurity in this country. And there are several factors mitigating this, which I know the federal government is very aware of and very conscious of. The surprising thing is the lackadaisical or supposedly nonchalant attitude to addressing this. We know that one of the alarming causes of food insecurity includes conflicts in the northeast, north central, and northwest, fuel, narrow devaluation, currency crisis, rising inflation, and consumer price index. Now, I recall last week there was a press conference that was organized telling Nigerians that genetically modified foods or seeds are
GMOs.
safe. Yes, GMOs are safe, for consumption. And it's quite surprising why that word press conference was held in Abuja. They were trying to educate Nigeria to accept that. Now, it feels like there is a loan that is being sought after by the federal government to help the Nigerian farmers, or to help the Nigerian government introduce genetically modified foods.
Which have been rejected in many countries abroad.
Exactly. Now, how come the Nigerian government, through the Agricultural Ministry, are now reaffirming to Nigerians that genetically modified foods are safe for consumption, just because they understand the desperation, the hunger in the land? And so they know that at this point in time, anything can be accepted by the people so long as they can feed.
Well, when you say that they are conscious, well, you can be conscious, but you may not be intentional.
Okay.
You may be conscious of something, but you may not be
intentional.
It's when you are intentional about something that you have to go and seek for a solution. When Tinubu said that Nigerians are not the only ones suffering, that other countries are suffering, understand?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So they are not intentional about solving all the problems.
The hunger crisis.
Because one of the major reasons of this hunger is insecurity, because the herdsmen has taken over the farms.
Yes, they have.
Farmers are no more farming.
True.
Benue used to be the food basket of the country.
Nigeria, true.
Today, there are no more farming. Then Plateau State, this cereals come from there.
Yeah.
It has now become a war state. So in the southeast, for one person to go to the farm, he will need about 20 other people to accompany him or her, because of the fear of being attacked by herdsmen.
That's true.
So, and they are not doing anything about these herdsmen.
Okay.
They don't want to disarm them. So, which means they may be conscious there's hunger. That's why they are telling you endure. But there's no intention of stopping it.
Like I said earlier, I used 200,000 as a base for possibly a literate Nigerian. There are people earning 20, 30,000, 15,000, even 10,000 as salaries at the end of the month. We don't know how they're going about transportation. We don't know how they're going about feeding. We don't even know how they're literally existing with how expensive food is. Mr. Peter Anosike, it's a terrible situation that we found ourselves. And it calls for a state of emergency, an immediate state of emergency on the food crisis bedeviling the nation. I expect that the recent economic team inaugurated by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should immediately start addressing this. The economic team comprises Tony Elumelu and a couple of other, Wale Edu and a couple of other, you call them financial stalwarts. It's beyond what we're talking about now. People are literally collapsing due to the fact that they cannot access food. It's no longer funny anymore. All right, finally, before we open the phone lines, because it's almost time for us to hear the reaction from a lot of us who are actually participating in the program. Well, in the call for Nnamdi Kanu, I don't know, I'm going back to that because, like I said, you'll be getting several reactions from the polity. Now, you know, Primate Ayodele has always been giving predictions. I'm going back because you said that there is no prophets in this country.
Ayodele is doing prediction, not prophecy.
He's not...
Look, I used to go to his office.
Okay.
I went there for some time.
Okay.
And I know what happens anytime we go there. He's somebody I know too well, and he also knows me too well.
Okay. Well, Mr. Peter Anosike, you say you know him very well. So you know
he's doing prediction, not prophecy.
He's not prophecy.
At all.
Okay, well, he has lent his voice to the whole Nnamdi Kanu quagmire. He is saying that Nnamdi Kanu should beg Nigerian government to secure his freedom. He should show humility. He should not be forming steez. Like, he should not be forming a guy. No.
Understand.
He said that he warned that the embattled IPOB leader would die in detention if he refuses to beg the Nigerian government for his freedom. And he was giving this advice during the launch of his 30th warning to the nations. Again, I don't know why you're saying that he's giving prediction. He has been giving several warnings to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I remember the cyber crime tax. He gave a warning according to that, and then the next thing, the president actually put a stop on it. So he said that if you know you want to be released, humble yourself, beg the federal government, meaning accept any condition, otherwise you would die in detention. What do you say to that?
Okay, you said that he warned Tinubu about the cyber
Yes,
crime.
he made a prediction to that.
Because of it, Tinubu now withdraw it. The same Ayodele told Hope Uzodinma, don't contest in 2023. You are going to waste your money. Understand me?
Okay.
The same Ayodele.
He also disclosed that Nigeria would break up and neither Kanu nor Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Igboho would be responsible. He said Nigeria will break up without a bloodbath, adding that the country will break up from the north. That was his prophecy. That's what he said.
That is his own shop. You understand me? As a VOP, it's your own shop. So all of us are sending.
Okay, so he's selling market.
Yes.
Oh my God, Mr. Anosike, I think you're right when you said that. A lot of people will use this Nnamdi Kanu case to actually, be part of the front pages or be part of the headlines. Mr. Anosike, let's go to what transpired in Kenya. It's important for us to talk about that before we open the phone lines. There was a recent protest in Kenya concerning the finance bill, and you saw how the Kenyan residents reacted to that. In fact, they told their supporters that if you know you want to be part of this protest, make sure that you are ready to die. If you know you're not ready to die, don't come out. We saw that according to the protesters, more than 39 persons were killed. We saw gory pictures on social media. We also heard from the government that 12 persons were killed. Now, William Ruto gave a press conference and stepped down the finance bill, but the protest did not stop. The Kenyans continued the protest. And because of that, the budget to the office of the First Lady and the Second Lady was scrapped. Also, about 49 agencies, ministries and parastatals within the Kenyan government was also scrapped and cleared out. And there are also more other things that the protesters are demanding from William Ruto. According to William Ruto as well, he's saying that he actually believes that there is a political undertone to the insistent protest by Kenyans, and the Kenyans are saying there is no political undertone. Now, there were some influencers who were paid for that protest to be, balkanized, but these influencers refused. They collected the money, yes, but they collected the money to promote the protest. Now, here is where things got a little bit, funny. As of yesterday or 2 days ago, hashtag Tinubu Must Go was trending on Twitter. And this time around, it was a call from every tribe. And they're saying this protest will take place from the 1st of August to the 10th of August. They're talking about bad governance, food insecurity, the abuse of fundamental human rights, and a couple of other issues. And they're saying that it's high time that they speak up. Now, a couple of pro-supporters of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu are saying that there are elements who are sponsoring this. They want to balkanize and destabilize the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and make him a bad case ahead of 2027, just like Sheikh Sani said. Pro-supporters are also saying that this protest is a protest ahead of pushing him along in 2027. Other critics are saying this time around we need to voice out, we can no longer keep quiet. Meanwhile, the call for this protest is coming is engineered from the positive effect the protest in Kenya had on the government of the people. They're saying, okay, if the giant of Africa cannot push through to this, then look at Kenya and look at the resultant effect. What do you say to this whole ordeal?
Well, mind you, in Kenya, there wasn't a counter-protest.
Yes, there wasn't a counter-protest.
Because everybody is feeling the hardship. So nobody was living in denial.
Okay.
There was no sentiment. There was no religion. All of them spoke with one voice. And some people paid the supreme sacrifice. And my prayer is that they will remember those that died in the course of
They did. William Ruto actually gave him 1 minute silence and he apologized. He said that those who were killed were not meant to be killed. It's like I said, it was quite an interesting one. But you remember that on Friday, the EFCC office at Ikoyi was fortified. We had the Rapid Response Squad, we had the DSS and a couple of squadrons, right, who were fortifying the premises of the DSS. Well, they were expecting the Nigerians who said on social media that they were going to protest the activities and the operations being carried out by the EFCC, but nobody showed up. Rather, we saw a counter-protest, those who were calling for the EFCC to continue what they're doing, that is supporters of the activities of the EFCC. So what happened? Were they scared? Why didn't they turn up as they said they would?
This is Nigeria for you, okay? There was no protest but counter-protest. And those counter-protests were those who were given money to come out.
All right.
Understand me? Those counter-protesters are those who were given money to come, because one, EFCC is overdoing it. Where are they going to universities? Why must you come and arrest somebody without any court order? So they are not playing by the rules. And understand me?
But why did the protesters not come out? That's the question. If Kenya could do what they did, what happened? Were the protesters afraid? Because I remember the EFCC spokesperson came out to say that there's an ex-governor as well as 2 senators behind the protest, and they're influencing that call on social media. Now, the EFCC got themselves ready to fight off the protesters with the kind of support that they got from the Nigerian defense team that fortified their office at Ikoyi, but none of the protesters showed up. So if at all, these protesters...
Which means it's a false alarm.
So are we saying that they just did that to do what? To make the EFCC scared? And where was the EFCC? Why did they fortify themselves if they have nothing to hide?
which means it's false alarm. But the truth is that Nigerians are not yet ready to take back their country. Nigerians are not yet ready to take back... Nigerians are still comfortable.
Are you sure? Did you see what happened at the NSAS? Do you think they do not want a repeat of what happened? How persons were killed, apprehended, a couple of them are still in detention. Do you think it's a resultant effect of the NSAS that is making a lot of persons reluctant to come out like that and say, I don't think I'm ready to sacrifice my life for this country?
That's the thing. You've said what happened in Kenya, that they say, if you don't want to die, don't come out. So Nigerians don't want to die.
Do you think the civil war is a major contributing factor to this?
It's not.
Why? Why would you say so?
It is not. We love life too much in Nigeria. Understand? Our necessity to adapt is endless. Tomorrow, if fuel begin to sell at 1,500, Nigerians will still buy. If rice begin to sell for 100,000 naira a bag, Nigerians will adapt.
So you're saying that regardless of the economic condition, they have a way of adapting. That's why political leaders take us for granted.
That is it, because even Nigerians don't have that capacity to sustain 3 days strike. Nigerians, look, I have been in this system, understand? I was a labor correspondent of the Sun newspaper. And from 2003 to 2009, there's no protest. If you go and check all the videos, you will see me. I've been in all of them. And I even started from secondary school. I was following Chima Obani, who was in the university then. For the protest. If there's no water in the hostel and there's water in the VC's house, we'll go and throw that water away. Everybody must suffer.
Interesting.
Understand? You cannot be drinking wine and will not see water to drink. Understand?
Right.
But social media, this phone thing, is one of the things that have contributed that to what we are facing now.
Now, interesting.
Yes.
I would have actually loved us to speak on the elections in the UK, whereby the Labour became the Labour won. Of course, ousting the Conservatives as the Tory parties for
after 14
years.
Yes.
Now, the interesting thing is the seamlessness of that election, and the fact that those who lost did not go to court to say, I don't trust this person that won.
It was transparent.
No, again, is that not the electoral system that we emulate?
It was very, very transparent.
The court is not coming to interfere here to decide who actually won the elections. INEC has put about 147 recommendations on its electoral act that the next upcoming elections in 3 states, they intend to implement this 149 recommendations. Mr. Peter Onozie, let me take your mind back to 2022. Mahmoud Yakub came out. There was a press conference where the update on the Electoral Act, which stipulated on the introduction of the IREF portal. The idea of the IREF portal was for results to be seen in real time. Nigerians, for the first time, all put together their voice to ensure that the Senate allow that to pass, and that whatever fund was required to ensure that that becomes a reality is implemented. I've never seen Nigerians back that institution concerning the fact that they feel that institution is corrupt. But they went ahead to say any form of update that will be introduced to ensure that we have a transparent system of government during our elections, or our electoral practices can actually be resonated with across board. We embrace it. and you saw what transpired in the 2023 elections. To make it worse, Mr. Peter Anosike, the off-season elections were worse. So, this 149 recommendations...
And there's no accountability.
Exactly. No explanation, nothing. The RF portal glitch, up to today, INEC has not told us what happened. All they told us was that there was just a glitch, but no further explanation as to that technical anomaly. Now, the off-season elections that took place, we saw the brazenness of electoral malfractions that took place. INEC came out to tell us that the persons who were involved in the infractions, that is INEC officials, are being prosecuted. Mr. Peter Anosike, in the news, you're not hearing any matter
in their own court.
What court, please?
In INEC court.
INEC's court. Okay, so the reason why I'm bringing up this matter is this. Isn't it embarrassing that an electoral system that we supposedly emulate was seamless? We saw everybody could have access, everyone could see how the result turned out. The Conservatives even lost in their polling units, in the places that they had the stronghold. And if you even know the factors that led to the Conservatives losing, you wonder that if that factor applied here, Nigerians may even say the Conservatives, nothing happened.
Everything is all right.
Everything is all right. So the question is this. When will we get to that point in our electoral system? Because what transpired in 2023 is a huge dent ahead of 2027. And a lot of Nigerians are saying, how do we trust that our votes will count in 2027? That is if a lot of us are alive till then.
Well, the issue is this. We don't have strong institutions in the country. And we have our strong people. We don't have strong institutions. America has what they call the Feds. That's their Federal Reserve.
Okay.
It is not under the control of the president. Biden cannot control the chairman of the Feds.
All right.
But here, president controls every other person, every other institution. So here, because of we don't have strong institutions, the strong individuals that we have controls those institutions.
All right.
They are more powerful than those institutions. And it is their interest that counts, not the interest of the people.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is a recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You've been listening to Mr. Peter Anosike giving you his insight on a couple of issues that were raised on the recap. If you left for us, there's a lot of issues to discuss, but it's time for us to actually open the phone lines where you get to tell us what you think, give us your recommendations, and of course, we get to read out your WhatsApp messages. The number for you to call is 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp number is 0817 175 56338 0817 1756338. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903. All right, the number to call is 0700 903 903 903, and the WhatsApp number is 0817 1756338. Hello, good evening, or rather, yes, good evening. Thank you for joining us on the recap. Hello, how are you? Hello, I can hear you. Go ahead, please. What's your name?
Yeah, good afternoon. I can hear you. Good afternoon,
Yes, go ahead. What's your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Valentine. I'm calling from Ogidi.
All right, Valentine, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to thank your analyst,
Okay.
Mr. Anosike,
All right.
for a very wonderful analysis.
All right.
All he has been saying since is pure truth. And I love the way you are throwing the questions at him
Thank you.
and the way he's doing justice to them. And also to tell you that I've been calling this your station for a very long time. I'm not connecting, but thank God I reached you today.
Yay!
I really love what you are doing in VOP.
Thank you
and
very much.
I love every worker or presenter of VOP and all the people you are bringing to analyze the issues to the people.
Thank you
They are
so
all
much.
wonderful.
We sincerely do appreciate
Mr. Anosike, Mr. Valentine, and etc.
All right.
You guys are wonderful.
Thank you so much.
We at Ogudu here, we're happy to have you at our station, number one.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We are coming to what is happening in Nigeria.
Okay.
I want to start with Nnamdi Kanu's issue.
Okay.
it's high time they let that guy go.
Okay.
The guy has not committed any crime. It's just, where two elephants fight,
Mm-hmm.
the grass that suffers it.
True.
Mr. Nasika just hit the nail on the head. That our institutions are controlled by the powerful people. Other countries have strong institutions. We will have strong people. Powerful people that are above the law, that can do whatever they like and nothing will happen. Look at Wike River State. Look at what is it called? Donkwaso and Ganduje in Kanu State, causing trouble. My dear, I don't have anything much to say than to pray for God to deliver us in this country. And lastly, to tell you that Kenya's protest, when they learn, very soon, it's Nigeria Primate. Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you for calling 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call, 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0817 1756 338. Hello, good afternoon, or rather, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening,
well
sir.
Done,
my name is Esther Machuku.
Yeah, Esther, well done. You are doing well.
Thank you.
Well done to VOP and your team.
All right, thank you. What's your name, sir?
My name is Mayor from Firstack.
All right, Mayor, go ahead.
Well done to Mr. Nnamdi. He has done justice to the topics. I want to talk about Nnamdi, please.
Okay.
Very in line with what Laura contested.
All right.
So I just taking.
Hello? Oh, hello? Hello?
Case in the court. Which court? When there is evidence that nine courts have said this guy did not do anything. Which court is what he's talking about? It's just because just to play to the gallery. Maybe he wants people to remember that he's still existing after having a civil. Those are senseless talks now, because there is evidence that up to Supreme Court, up to every court has said, both Nigeria and outside Nigeria. It doesn't make any sense. They should allow the man to go. The guy has committed no crime, and as a matter of fact, even him there is making mess of what is remaining of Nigeria's image. That's the truth. So they allow the guy to go, and he didn't sign anything. He didn't sign anything with anybody because there is no need for that.
Well, we don't know that yet.
On the current situation in this country, this present government, led by our president, current president, if you give them 20 years, they cannot offer anything. That's the truth. And as it is now, there is nothing except Nigerians take back their country, because this thing is like a state capture. These people cannot change, except what happened in currently happening in Kenya happens here. These things cannot change. That is the truth. These people are hell bent on grabbing what they want to grab. And as a matter of fact, they are capitalizing on the docility of Nigerians. So if Nigerians continue to feel like the kind of said that this thing is very large. This thing. People, you say the bag of rice is 100,000. People will go and squeeze out 100,000 to buy. It will help us. And this will continue to make a mess of this economy, and people are dying. People are suffering. They're suffering in the land.
All right.
So, and since our elders have decided not to keep quiet, we have former head of state. We have national council of state that used to meet before. Whether those ones they have cancelled those ones. We have religious leaders who are keeping quiet until this place gets up with them.
All right. Thank you so much.
So I'm not going to let Nigerians take back their country.
All right. Thank you for calling. Okay, so we need to accommodate to many calls, all right? We cannot allow calls just stay on. So when you call, please limit what you want to say to possibly a minute. A minute is very, very important so we can get as many calls as possible. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hello. Evening. What's your name and your location? All right, Ola, please go ahead. You have a minute, please.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, for me, on the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, at least he himself has asked for it. Then the government can sit with him and the other people to make sure that he sign a condition that he will not go back to inciting violence again.
Okay.
Because that's what he did during the NSAS.
Okay.
Caused so many chaos in Lagos. So on the issue of protest. We don't want protest in Nigeria. The Kenyans that went through that.
You said you don't want protest. You don't want protest in Nigeria.
Okay. Destroy their country. Their economy will go into recession very soon because all things that their government is cutting, it's reducing employment for people.
Oh, really?
The economy will shrink.
So were you in support of their finance bill? You were in support of their finance bill?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Mr. Peter, what do you have to say to what the scholar said?
We know where he is coming from.
Where is he?
He is a regular and conda, understand? So we know where he's coming from.
So you're not going to say anything to that?
To move on.
We're trying to get some WhatsApp calls are coming in, but they're not staying. They keep cutting off. So I don't know. Try and send messages instead. I don't know what's wrong with the calls. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the recap right here on VOP 90.3 FM. What's your name?
You're doing very fine. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
And of course, I agree. I also greet my good friend. Okay. My name is Peter Nnamdi. He's a good analyst. I greet you, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Peter. I'm calling from Abanaja.
All right, Peter.
Your best, Peter Nnamdi, has really analyzed very, very well. I cannot agree less with him.
Wow,
but
that's
I just want to add just on two things, if possible.
All right.
One, on air matter.
All right.
I think there's still time for reconciliation between him and Bola Ahmed Tinubu if there's any problem at all.
You do think there's a problem? I don't think there's a problem between he and Tinubu.
Yes, what has been going on, the way two men have been going against him.
Okay.
Imagine Shehu Sani and of course Batani, the governor there.
Yes.
You know, all these people. And then just because he went to SDP with the P2B, so all these things came. You understand?
Yes.
So because he believed, in fact, he really supported Bola Ahmed Tinubu during the election.
True.
And as your website said, he said Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the part he played to Buhari, it was also the part this man, that is Erufai, played to Tinubu himself. QED. Then, let me not waste time on that. Then, again, I want to talk on Kenya. You see, like what has just happened recently in Kenya, I'm not talking of the protest, I'm talking of the cost of governance.
Yes, the cost of governance.
Being introduced recently. Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead, Mr. Peter.
Yes, are you hearing me?
Very well. Continue, please.
Oh, God bless you. So just like what recently happened in Kenya on cost of governance, the reduction of cost of governance, you see, I believe that actually it was a natural support. You understand? I will not say he was infringing on Nigeria's copyright, but Nigeria should emulate that on national support that was introduced in Kenya recently. That's what I can say. Finally, I would have loved to ask Peter Nnamdi a question on Nnamdi Kanu. This question I asked Barrister Fred Ngako on Citizen Jones' show in the morning in that station. He answered me the way he should answer me, but I don't want to.
What's your question? What's your question?
And I don't want Peter Nnamdi to be embarrassed. Otherwise, if you give me the opportunity that I should ask, and he agrees I should ask, I will have asked him that question.
Should he ask, Mr. Nnamdi? He said, should he ask?
He's taken off.
He has taken off. Okay. All right then. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. But I want to read out some messages. It's quite important. My VOP family, people perish for lack of knowledge. But did we learn? Being taught camp, still learning from leaderships of Nigeria the principle of making wealth for the sustainability of self, family, and country, or are we to watch the career criminal politicians loot and steal by trickery from the commonwealth for the benefit of the agglomerers and of funds? Okay, so you wrote Yoruba. I'm sorry, I can't read that. So again, he wrote, leaderships does not mean well for the people 63 plus years after independence. Really? What have you learned 63 years plus after independence about leadership and the country called Nigeria? But will the VOP channels create a hotspot for every Nigerian, every listener to relay their voices? Courtesy VOP, that's what we're doing. Okay, that's what we're doing. Do you know that in truism, United we stand and divided we fall. But unfortunately, Nigeria is highly divided via religion and tribe, come politics, courtesy, the career of funds and the Baba Lami Lamis. Okay. Next time, please explain. All right. This person also says, good evening, Esther, and your guest. My name is Chinedu from Alaba International Market. To tell you the truth, anybody that is praying for Nigeria's togetherness is the enemy of this country. For us to be together cannot work until we go our separate ways. Even the colonial masters that rules this country long ago said after 100 years, if it doesn't work, we should go to our separate ways. And 100 years is over. The early will believe this, the best for all of us, while Nigeria can. Wow, Chinedu, why? Why? We're not promoting any divisiveness right on this channel. We're talking about issues, but we're not promoting any divisive statements or comments. Mekuna, read my message. Oh, we are reading your message. Oh, we are reading your message. Oh. Greetings to you all. Please, how can you help to educate us on these GMO products? This government is not on the side of the people. Daniel from Oshodi. All right, Daniel. I believe tomorrow morning, which is Monday, we may talk about that on any of our content. All right.
Tomorrow is Sunday.
Oh, sorry, Monday rather. Monday, right? We can talk about that on any, or possibly, what's his name? Citizen Jones in the men talk that they have later in the afternoon. They can buttress further on that. If that was the agenda on this program, actually would have started talking about it from the onset. It's now time for us to take calls and conversation, but I promise you we will need to speak on this, because honestly, I don't know, a couple of Nigerians are not in support of the GMO. There's quite a lot of talk on the unviability of that, and that Nigeria cannot tolerate any form of product that is not organic, because we've been used to organic products. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Anosike. My name is Esther. GMO. Okay, this person is already educating us. GMO disadvantages outweigh the advantages. True or false? Recently, I bought oranges claimed to have been imported from Togo. They lack seeds in them. We buy fruits sometimes. After eating it, we'll be able to plant. Why are we manipulating and reversing nature to the detriment of mankind? Why does the Nigerian government adhere to these GMO foods in agreement with NAFDAC, FDA, and other agencies meant to protect consumers' rights? GMO food is not the solution to food insecurity in Nigeria. Rather, the most prioritized and only solution for food insecurity across the country are: government should brutally fight against banditry and terrorism. Government should encourage experienced and inexperienced farmers by empowerment. Government should scrap the inimical policies, e.g. taxes. Government should provide free education and medical care for the children of the goose that lays the golden eggs as incentives for all farmers. Chisco from Ijegu, Ijagemo, Jaga Road. Wow, Chisco. Thank you for educating us. That's quite apt. Thank you so much for that. All right. UC from Ijegu says, good evening, VOP. The government of Nigeria should please release Nnamdi Kanu and compensate him for the various human rights abuse meted on him. Nnamdi Kanu is a freedom fighter. Everybody knows this. Thanks. Thank you so much. Good evening, my sister Esther. Say me well to the guest speaker. Okay. Well done, Mr. Peter Anosike. That's what he's saying. Saying workers spend 65% of salary on food is a blatant lie. I spend 99.9% of my salary on food. Please, what parameter did they use to calculate that? On the issue of GMO, I want to believe that there is an unseen force working against our food security just to make us accept GMO. Hashtag no to GMO. Olawale from Ijaniki. Thank you, Olawale. This person has been calling, but I don't know what's going on. The call doesn't stay. Good evening, my honorable VOP family. My name is Mr. Zilo from Mafuluku. My contribution is that Nigeria is yet to succeed now because we lack past success. The greatest enemy of future success is past success. When we succeed as a country, you will see that we must have been doing something right for it to happen. Lover of wisdom. God bless us. All right. Thank you so much. I've taken enough of the messages. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the recap. What's your name?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. What's your name, please?
My name is Kayode Omobolanle.
All right, Mr. Kayode. Where are you calling us from?
From Okota here.
All right, Mr. Kayode, go ahead.
Please, I want you, Idiru, to beware of Osifo.
Why?
Osifo is among those who don't want Nnamdi Kanu to come out from that place.
But he just said right now that he agrees with most of the analysis Mr. Peter Anosike gave.
He just says so.
Yeah, he just called now.
It's among the people who is supporting Wike.
Okay.
So all the time he talk, you will see he said Fubara should be careful. He will be impeached.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Osifo is not somebody we can rely on.
All right. Okay, Bo.
That's my point.
He's giving his own opinion, but thank you so much for calling. All right. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0817 1756 338. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the recap. What's your name and location, please? Kindly turn down the audio of your listening device or your radio. It's important. It's quite disconcerting. Good evening. Welcome to the recap. What's your name?
My name is Ayodele. I'm calling from Agro.
All right. The volume of your radio is still high, or whatever it is you're listening to the radio from. I can hear my voice at the background.
All
right, go ahead.
I want to talk about Kanu.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I didn't see any offense in that committed because I can't. The court has said that she needs me. So they have to obey the court. That's why this country, I am tired of the country is a lawyer country. There's no big lawyer. There's no someone commits offense and lawyer say even if somebody commits offense, lawyer say release. Nnamdi Kanu commit any offense. I didn't see the offense Nnamdi commit. Why are they still holding him? Please.
All right, thank you. Thank you. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp number. Okay. Hello. Wow. The calls are interrupting the WhatsApp call. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Good evening, sir.
How are you, sir? Name and location, please.
Nnamdi from Ejimo, please.
All right, Nemeka, go ahead.
My greeting to Anasike, they try you.
Okay.
They try you. More than 6 or 4 hours now. He's trying. May God bless you, my dear.
All right.
May God bless you for us.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to start with the people that talking about Kenya protest.
Okay.
Nigerians, we are still enjoying our suffering. When we are our suffering, if we are tired of enjoying the suffering, then we will do something. Number one.
So you agree with Mr. Nnamdi that we are still comfortable?
Yes, we are enjoying our suffering. That is always I say I wish everybody good luck in this suffering. You can say we are enjoying it.
All right.
Secondly is this UK election. I hope Muhammadu Yakubu live work in Nigeria. We are going to take a house and stand there and talk all manner of nonsense he doesn't know about. At the end of the day, he disappoints himself, disappoints himself. At the end of the day, he disappoints himself, disappoints Nigeria. Did anybody talk about the British election? The winner means that British have lose. The winner means that British have won. That is what they call election. You not said something about election the other time. He said if they finish election in South Africa and the report, that is a taboo. But if in Nigeria they finish election, they do not go to court. That means they do not do election. Then we have to human race, we are calling ourselves a nation. Let's be honest,
All right.
I am saying something.
All right.
This country, all of us want to work on. God bless you, my dear.
Thank you, Nemeka. Thank you so much. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. I would implore all of you trying to call via WhatsApp to send your messages. I don't know. The calls enter and then drop off. So, hello. Welcome to the recap.
Hello,
what's your name?
Evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine. Mr. Sam is my name from Satellite.
All right, Mr. Sam, go ahead.
Please, the man, Peter Osifo, is even not just an enemy of Southeast, he's an enemy of the entire country. The way he speaks, it's like something is wrong with the man. I want to tell him that he's an enemy to Nigeria.
Because his opinions or perception counters yours, then that means he's an enemy.
To his opinion, but his opinion is not, that is dirty and naughty.
But he just said something now that he agreed with all of Mr. Peter Anosike's analysis.
He's a bad man, whether he's still anything now or later. I don't know that.
Okay, so what's your contribution to the conversation we've had today? It's not about Peter
Anosike. Because that Peter Osifo is annoying me.
All right, sorry that he's annoying you, but he's a caller just like you, and we have to respect his perceptions, okay? Thank you so much for calling. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0817 1756 338. Hello, welcome to the recap. What's your name and location, please? Oh, we lost that connection. Hello, welcome to the recap. Name and location, please. Kindly turn down the audio of your listening device or your radio, whatever it is you're listening to us from, please.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the recap. What's your name?
No, I'm CY from Elasa.
All right, CY, go ahead.
Yeah, that this man calling Osufu.
CY, tell us what you're talking about. Mr. Peter Osufu gave his own opinion.
I bet what I'm saying that Nnamdi Kanu, we have in the Eastern State, we have farms, lawyers. They should go to the court, not to go for backyard and decide because Nnamdi Kanu didn't do anything at all.
So you're saying that he should not accept any political solution? Is that
yes.
They should continue? They should take the case to court.
Let our lawyers. We have lawyers in the Eastern State.
Okay.
We have farms.
All right. So are you saying that if he accepts any political solution, then he's guilty of whatever claims the federal government is alleging? Is that what you're saying?
Because the condition they will give him now will not be good. They will tell him that he should not travel to abroad. They should not convert with anybody. They should not do this.
Okay.
The condition the federal government will give him will not suit Nigerians.
All right.
Easterners. He will not suit Nigerians or Easterners.
All right. Thank you so much.
So that's what I'm saying.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
All right. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. The WhatsApp number is 0817 1756 338. Hello, welcome to the recap. Name and location, please. Kindly turn down whatever listening device you listen to us from. It's quite important. When we hear the feedback, it's disconcerting. Thank you. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Good evening. This is also from Trade Fair.
What's your name?
Nonso from Trade Fair.
All right, Mr. Nonso, kindly go ahead, please.
Yes. What I want to add is that one, I want to ask if our brothers from other tribes, whether they are listening to this program.
Yes, they do. They do. Why?
Because I have not seen any of them make a contribution. Because they are the people who put this mission in chaos.
They do.
Anarchy and do.
They do, actually.
Because if you sell your birthright, you don't have to complain.
Okay.
I don't think we Nigerians have to complain. Let us face whatsoever thing that is before us. Because we caused it ourselves. That's one.
Okay.
Then secondly, about Mazen Nandekano, I think it's our core, because I'm from Igbo land, it's our people that is still holding that man there.
Oh, wow. So you're of the notion, too, of the conspiracy theory that there's some Southeastern persons who want him to continue his incarceration.
Exactly. It's our people that is still holding him there.
Okay.
If all of us look at the issue of Sunday, Igbo, how many weeks? Okay, upon say they release him, they say grant him bail and compensate him.
Okay.
Because they came out as one mind. But we are here in Igbo land is different.
Okay.
They are the sabotage people that will go and say no. If you release this man, you will spoil your government.
All right.
Whereas if we come as one body, if people say let us stop, Sunday our brother Mazen Nandekano will come out tomorrow. I'm telling you honestly speaking.
All right, thank you for calling.
Thank you very
much. All right, let me read out some YouTube messages. Oh, wow. Congratulations and thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Okay, so Nimi Briggs says, God will surely judge oppressors, either it be white or black. Igbos are united in cliques. Where do you belong? That's from OJB AK. And Maxwell says, good day, sir. Radio Girl, thank you very much. And Maxwell says, Esther, you're talking about people earning 200K. What about those earning 10,000, 20,000, 30,000? Some of them with children. How are they managing? It's a pitiable situation. John Obina says, forget about Oji. He's just making noise. Ola Adewale says, begging the Agbaros over what? Seeking freedom? Ola Adewale also goes, people perish for lack of knowledge. There are several ways to hold leadership in the crotch, but unfortunately, we are highly divided. All right. Ojebe Eke says, Farisha is not in any position to talk for anyone. Ojebe Eke says, his impute is useless. Ola Adewale says, adaptability to nonsense, Mr. Peter. Okay? All right. Olawale says, if that is the case, the Nigerians, okay, this is Yoruba. I don't know how to read it. Okay, Olawale, plenty. Let me go to another person. Manuel Marcos says, we are Biafrans, not slaves to Nigeria. With MNK or not, we'll continue fighting until Biafra is free from evil Nigeria. No going back. All right. Lawson Amadi says, Peter Osifo. Okay, no, I'm not going to read this. Okay. Uche Okafor says, good evening. Release Nnamdi Kanu. Conduct referendum. Peter EJ, Nigeria is not a country. Obiora John, we the Igbos, we must go to. You didn't complete your statement here. All right. Ojebe also says 18 is a year of consent. At 64, Nigeria still crawls. All right. Peter J goes, Esther, it's quite unfortunate you don't have to use 1 hour on analysis and 30 minutes for the messages, and you call it voice of the people. It's painful. All right, call in. We're reading out your messages already. Okay, there are a lot of issues to talk about. Harrison Gideon, we should stop behaving or pretending nothing is happening. Our president is brain rice. Okay, this one plenty. Isaac Monday goes, please, you media should let the public truth that MNK never begged Nigeria government for any negotiation. Rather, it is the federal government and the court that is asking and begging him for negotiation. All right, Mr. Peter Anosike, please, I need you to speak on this.
Well, I heard that negotiation for the first time from Ejimako.
All right.
He quoted a section of the Constitution.
174.
Yes, that said that since the court is not working, that they can go for political settlement. And it is the same thing that the governors of the Southeast
said.
The senators are working towards. I said, Nelson Mandela, his release was political solution.
So it doesn't matter who initiated or who said or where it came from or who said what first. What matters is seeing how he can be free, right?
That's the most important thing. He has been there for 3 years now.
Alrighty, all right, thank you. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. We will soon be wrapping up. We'll take 2 more calls, and then of course Mr. Anosike will give us his closing remarks. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, welcome to the recap. What's your name?
Hello, Esther. Good evening.
Wow, it's been a long time. Hello?
Mr. Ben from Eva.
I know, I said it's been a long time. Please go ahead.
You just told Mr. Anosike, he just broke my mind.
All right.
Concerning this GMO is poison. It's poison. I don't know what the federal government is talking about, because they did not bring any seedling and show us see GMO, this one is good. The GMO that is the one other countries, Western countries have rejected. They are telling us that it is good. And there is no one they brought and said this is GMO is good, so that we can carry it and go and test. GMO, they have tested it and find out that what they used to produce a sniper is found in GMO. And any soil where you plant GMO, that soil will not bear any fruit again. Organic food will not grow there again. And this internet giant man is the one championing this cause. What do he want? And the rest of the world, they say that GMO is aimed at reducing population. It causes cancer. And when you harvest GMO, the seed cannot grow until you bring out their seed again from this internet man. Why is he distributing this in all over the world?
But Paul, the federal government, the government agencies are allaying the fears of Nigerians over the safety of GMO. And they made that statement during a World Press Conference. They are saying that the social media reports regarding GMO that is negative, that the agencies are describing it as misinformation and that it is unfounded. So they are saying actually that GMO is not bad.
It is true. It's a reality. It is a reality. The field cannot grow. And the soil where you plant GMO cannot bear any other organic food that cannot grow there. Concerning Southeast, please let them remove all those terrorists that wear uniform in the Southeast. Let them remove them, because that's the reason why they form ESN. They should remove all those terrorists. They are killing innocent people.
Okay.
And they are kidnapping all those soldiers that are having checkpoints. They are collecting 5,000 from people that carry foodstuffs, trucks. They should remove them from the road. Remove all the planning men that are killing farmers in the forest.
All right.
If they don't remove them, they're leaving Nnamdi Kanu. All these things will continue. Nobody will listen to Nnamdi Kanu. That is what the federal government is supposed to do. And they should hasten the anti-grazing law. Second reading.
Okay.
They should pass it into law. so that the Fulani men will go and buy land and train it out.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for actually calling. All right, we need to wrap up now. This message says, sorry, that's from Olawale from Ijaniki, says, sorry, I'm testing back. A caller just said, maybe we the Yorubas aren't listening to VOP. Seriously, we're listening every day. I'm a Yoruba man from Ijaniki. Thank you, Olawale, for that response. For some of you that you have been trying to call on WhatsApp, but the number keeps dropping. That's because the terrestrial calls interrupted. We're very, very sorry. That's why I suggested that you send messages rather than trying to call on WhatsApp. Mr. Anuski, what do you have to say before we wrap up?
Well, I want to appreciate those that call and those that sent messages.
All right.
But we should hope that we will keep on believing in God and in ourselves.
All right.
We should keep on believing in God and in ourselves.
All right, Mr. Peter Anosike, thank you so much. Once again, your social media handles for further explanations on these political issues.
Peter Anosike 77
on all social media platforms. So if you want to have more depth, especially in cases where you don't get to hear any confinement and how Anosike talks about these issues, go to Peter Anosike 77. Obviously, on VOP 90.3 FM, we do 24 hours. We bring up all those issues. We actually open the phone lines for you to give us your recommendations. And the hope is to ensure that the government understands that they need to do right by the people. My name is Esther Machuku. It's a pleasure to be here today. Don't worry, next week Saturday you're going to see your radio girl, Chema Innocent, as usual, stir up this conversation. Follow me on YouTube at Estic Media, ESTIQMEDIA. On X is Esther Machuku. On Facebook, Esther Machuku. And on Instagram is Esther Nwaz. That's ESTANWAZ. Do you have yourself an amazing Saturday? Bye for now. And of course, join me on the Political Spotlight tomorrow.